How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Bitcoin just did the unthinkable in a lot of people's minds. It was down significantly, right? It was going back down. People were pissed off, or people were excited. They feel like a lot of people feel like Bitcoin is trash, and what do you know? It just pumped up $9,000. This trash just had a god candle of 10%. And you probably didn't even notice it. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about why this is pretty obvious. I've actually talked about it in the last few videos. Like I've laid it out. I'm gonna pat myself on the back on this one. But there are some big pieces of news over the last 24 hours, actually over the last few hours, that give us an indication for why this is pumping. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this one. Also, actually do that. In one of my recent videos, this is actually from less than a day ago, listen to what I say about the market. And keep in mind, too, we're at 108,600 right now. 108,600. Listen to what I said yesterday. Just this, let's say we went down to 100,000, right? Key psychological level, right at this descending trend line. This might be a decent time to long. Or let's say you're like, hey, I don't want to wait because of what's happening tomorrow. Okay, just know there's going to be tons of volatility. Okay, so 100,000 might be a decent time to long. This is my video of last night. And we just updated some positions. I added to a Bitcoin long position that was at under 100,000. Now we're at 102. There's going to be volatility. I could be down by the time you watch this, but also opened a SUI position. So if you want to check out those trades, there's a link underneath the video to the Patreon. So I said, hey, if we get down to 100, it's probably a decent time to long because we came up above this trend line, came back down to it, just like we've seen on Solana, just like we've seen on XRP, just like we've seen in certain market, in certain metrics, like I think it was total 2 or total 3. Sorry, I got about 2.5 hours and then saw this happening and had to come talk about it. So brain's not working at 100% quite yet, but we came up above this line, came right back down to it, flipped it from resistance into support. This is exactly what we've done on Solana, XRP, again, total 2 or total 3. And now we're pumping back up. I even said too, hey, we could see some resistance above the all-time high, but like around 110, 109, 110,000. Now, what do you know? We're sitting right at that point right now. So again, if you want to check out the Patreon, I said in the Patreon, hey, this is risky, but I'm adding to a Bitcoin position. I'm also going to be opening a SUI position. And what do you know? Those positions are up right now. So again, if you want to check out the Patreon, I don't talk about trading all that often. I've opened up just a few trades, and that's not really the point of the Patreon at all. It's for you to ask questions. But I labeled it here, or I outlined it here. Then I also talked about it in the Patreon, and yeah, now we're up. So pretty awesome there. If you want to check out the links underneath the video as well, there's a link to WEEX and a Blofin in case you want to start trading crypto. You can check out those links underneath the video. And I also said this last night, like XRP, it looks beautiful. It flipped prior resistance into support literally last night. It went down to $2.91, which is exactly within a penny of the high from back at the beginning of December. So let's just talk about what's happening, right? I labeled this. I keep on saying labeled. I telegraphed this. I said that this is going to happen essentially. And of course I could be wrong, right? Something else could happen. We could fall down dramatically. But it seems like classic manipulation that's caused the market to fall down. Like there's $820 million worth of longs liquidated in the last 24 hours. So what is this? Well, Melania token was launched yesterday and it dumped the market. It made people think that Trump wasn't really serious about a strategic Bitcoin reserve and that maybe this bull run is over. Okay, why would he not be serious about strategic Bitcoin reserve? Sure, he's fumbling around, right? Trying to figure out what to do in crypto. Like, should he launch more meme tokens and make billions of dollars? Should he hold off because that's probably the right thing to do? Well, we're not sure if he's going to continue to launch meme tokens, but him launching a second meme token does not reduce the chances of a strategic Bitcoin reserve, in my opinion. It shows that he will do anything. He doesn't really care, right? So a strategic Bitcoin reserve, lowering capital gains taxes, saying screw you to the people that were running choke point 2.0, like get out or we're coming after you. Like all this stuff is on the table. Who knows what Trump's going to do? But this signaled that anything is on the table. And while, the chances actually on Polymarket went down for the chances that Trump will create a Bitcoin reserve in the first 100 days, it did go down yesterday. But now it's spiking up. Now it's spiking up to the highest level it's been. 59% chance that Trump will create a strategic Bitcoin reserve in the first 100 days. This is like overnight this happened. Part of this might be because Eric Trump said to the moon, right? With a picture of David Sachs and Michael Saylor. David Sachs, obviously the crypto czar for the U.S., and Michael Saylor, the person that's buying hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars of Bitcoin every single week, who's going to be announcing in a few hours that he bought more Bitcoin. Also, Eric Trump says, wait until you see what they do tomorrow over at Trump's World Liberty coin. So they spent 20 million USDC to buy 6,000 ETH and just continues to buy. Like they are smashing the buy button. The official Trump token also jumped up a little bit when it came out that Robinhood will be listing the Trump token. So yeah, some more liquidity for the Trump token. It went up from like $44 to $61 within a few minutes. So yeah, the odds of a strategic Bitcoin reserve are quite high, in my opinion, higher than most people think. As we've seen too, there's no telling what this administration is going to do, right? ETH jumping up on the news as well. The news that World Liberty Fi is buying up ETH. So maybe some indication that they're going to be very supportive of ETH and helpful. Also, like people are looking up buy Solana like crazy right now. Solana's taken a bit of a dip. It went down to 240, now back up to 270. But yeah, so many people looking up buy crypto and buy Solana just because of what's happening with the Trump token. So this did onboard a lot of people, and I think this was an obvious manipulation event, right? It's not from Trump. I'm not saying Trump manipulated the market. I'm saying this is where the manipulators come to try to push down the market when there's FUD, when there's uncertainty, and like they spun the narrative that this is really bad. Not just the Trump token, but like this market is going downhill. This is the end of the bull run. This is the craziest things get. We've been saying things are going to get crazier. We're going into probably less certain times, more prosperous, but less certain. So seeing tokens like this is still probably rare. Like the Trump token being spun up, probably rare still. But it's not going to be unprecedented in the future, right? Like this does not mean that Bitcoin's worth less. Bitcoin is still the same asset it was at 80,000, 70,000, 90,000, 100,000. It is an asset that you can send across the world in seconds with barely any fees. It's decentralized. You can hold it and you can die with it if you don't want to give it up. Bitcoin is an amazing asset. What this showed us is that Trump means business. Like he just spun up 2 meme coins on his first weekend before Inauguration Day, on his last weekend before Inauguration Day. Like he's just insane. He's just insane. I don't know how else you can say it. But yeah, we are seeing some resistance around 108, 109. I think today's a very bullish day. Be ready for volatility though. Be ready for anything. Again, if you want to trade cryptos, there are links underneath the video to BTCC, to WEEX. If you want to check out the Patreon, like I said, I told you exactly what I was going to do on the channel, but then I told the Patreon that I was doing it as well, and it was spelled out in plain English, posting about it last night. So yeah, if you want to check that out, there is a link underneath the video. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next one. Of course, be ready for anything. Thanks. Bye.